So moving up the card, we've got the co-main event, Jake Collier taking on Andre Arlovski. Jake Collier getting the Andre Arlovski test, it seems, because Andre Arlovski taking on a lot of these younger guys in the heavyweight division, not necessarily like heavyweight prospects, but still younger guys in the heavyweight division. Like, he beat Jared Vandeiro by split decision there. He beat Carlos Felipe by decision in a pretty close fight, and he did beat Chase Sherman as well. A lot of younger guys than Andre Arlovski, who is a former champion, and he is 43 years old and still out here doing it. And he's getting paid a lot of money to do it too, I believe, as well. He's actually quite good. He's very well rounded, obviously, at this point of his career. He's got a lot of experience. He's kind of seen it all. Jake Collier, on the other hand, former middleweight in the UFC. Then he moved up to light heavyweight, and now he's kind of shaped like a bowling ball, and he's fighting at heavyweight, which is very interesting. But he did show a pretty good win over Chase Sherman. I think he hurt him on the feet, and then he did get the submission by rear naked choke. I think that Jake Collier was meant to fight Justin Taffa, but that fight potentially ended up falling out or something like that. Yes, it did. And Andre Arlovski has stepped in, so we're getting Jake Collier versus Andre Arlovski instead of Jake Collier versus Justin Taffa in this one here. I'm going with old man Arlovski. He has been showing to slow down recently, and he did slow down a decent amount against Jared Vandeiro there. But Jared Vandeiro is a big guy. I'm going to be picking Andre Arlovski to win the fight. Potentially Jake Collier could find an upset with the hands. Maybe he could take down Andre Arlovski and try and get a submission like Tom Aspinall did. But Tom Aspinall's just so good on the ground. I don't think Jake Collier is going to be able to manage that same sort of finish. But Andre Arlovski, like, he still had a pretty good first round against Tom Aspinall, and Tom Aspinall has been beating a lot of good guys recently. So Andre Arlovski still definitely got something in him. I feel like Jake Collier is pretty good too, as well rounded. He does have a very good sort of like kickboxing game, but he did lose to Carlos Felipe by split decision. I mean, who hasn't? Carlos split decision to Felipe. He did beat Gian Vellante, who is now retired. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I feel like old man Arlovski gets the job done. He's very old at this point. He's 43 years old, which is kind of crazy. But I still think he's going to get a decision win here. I don't think he's going to find a finish over a guy like Jake Collier at the moment. I'm still going to be picking Andre Arlovski to win a decision in this one here. But moving on, Andre Arlovski is definitely getting old, and I feel like he's definitely starting to show that he has been slowing down a little bit. So it's definitely kind of worth noting that. Potentially, we've got a live underdog in Jake Collier. If the odds were a lot wider, like if we're getting Jake Collier at much better value than plus 125, I would say potentially there's a sprinkle on the Jake Collier side. But I just can't. I don't like the plus 125 underdog for Jake Collier. I feel like if he was a much bigger underdog, there would be value there. But I feel like against Andre Arlovski at only plus 125, I don't think there's too much value for Jake Collier to win this fight here. I feel like old man Arlovski gets it done again and beats another young up-and-coming guy in the old man Arlovski test.